today's Casa Calendar Update, where we let you know what's going on in and around the Duke City. And today it is Theater Thursday, and we're taking a look at Hamlet. 2016 marks 400 years since the death of William Shakespeare, and the Vortex Theater is honoring the Bard by producing one of his most famous works and possibly the most famous story in English literature. Joining me now to tell us all about it is the director, David Richardson Jones, along with Hamlet, played by Gray Blanco, the coolest name I've ever heard. All right, guys, so let's jump into it. Tell us what's new about this production of Hamlet.
Well, it's set in the 21st century, and
Really?
it involves life in the 21st century, kind of the way we live it, including with cell phones.
Okay.
And other kinds of gadgets, which are not meant to be gimmicks. They're just meant to be ways that people process information and transmit information in the contemporary period.
So it's very different
Right.
from the original Hamlet. Now, do you find that that was a little bit more difficult, or was it just as, well, I guess simple as, doing Hamlet the original way?
Well, it was fun in rehearsal to find out the solution to certain problems that Shakespeare solved in one way and we would solve in another.
Yeah.
But it's still his language, it's still the great story, and it's still to be or not to be. So.
Yeah. Now, what's it like taking on such an iconic role?
Well, it's a little daunting, I guess, but when David approached me about the role, I was really excited, and it's all about that text,
Yeah, it's all about that text. Now, does it make it easier for you with, kind of modernizing Hamlet?
I would say that the character's the same. The modernization, I would guess, of the text and the script doesn't change the character, doesn't change the story. So the character's there, the story's there, and so the setting of it in the 21st century was a pretty natural transition, I would say.
Okay. It's something that kind of lasts. Now, what do you think makes Hamlet such an iconic story?
Well, it's a story. One reason is he's a perfect blend of intellect and emotion.
Okay.
Some characters are all emotion and they just weep all over the place, and some characters spend all their time thinking. He does both.
Okay.
But it's the psychological depth of it. This is something for the last couple of hundred years people have felt about Hamlet, that it's the richest, deepest psychological picture of any of Shakespeare's great plays.
Great. Now, you guys started running last week. What has been the response so far?
Selling out and hoping for more.
Okay. Who is this show for? Is it for all ages? Is it just kind of a date night, leave your kids at home?
It's probably a good time to leave your kids at home, though we've had a lot of young audiences in the sense of people in their teens and 20s and 30s, and it's very much for that. This is a story about young people who are having trouble with the older generation. So there's lots for them to see.
Okay. Now, since it's set in the 21st century, when I read Shakespeare, Chad doesn't have a hard time reading Shakespeare. He fully understands everything that's happening. When I read Shakespeare, I have such a hard time I have to read it over and over again. Does it make it easier for you that it is set in the 21st century, or are you a whiz kid who got Shakespeare throughout all of school?
Well, I study theater in school,
Okay.
So I definitely,
That would help.
Shakespeare's not new to me, I would say, but there's always more to discover when you're reading that text.
Okay. All right. Now, if somebody is going to see this, what do you hope they take away from the show?
That's a good question. What do you think they should take away from the show?
Well, I hope that they take away that Hamlet is a human being, and that instead of this big literary icon, I hope that they see a human there, somebody with real thoughts, real emotions.
All right, I love it. Now, if somebody wants to get tickets, when, where, how do they get tickets?
VortexABQ.org is the website, and that's where you get tickets. The play runs for 4 more weekends, Friday, Saturday night, and Sunday matinee.
Great, and get your tickets early because they are selling out, which means it's a fantastic show. But if you guys want a link to their website, we will have it at our website. Just head over to casa.com.